What's up, Bulls Nation? It's the Bloody Horns Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Let's get into it. So last night, the news broke that Patrick Williams has agreed to a 5-year, $90 million extension with the Chicago Bulls. And this is big-time news. It's another domino to fall in the offseason. It's another move that signals that the Chicago Bulls might be moving past the mid-3 era, the DeMar, Zach, Vooch era. They might be moving past that. Might be moving into a little bit of a youth movement here. So first we go get Josh Giddey. He's 21 years old. Patrick Williams, I believe he just turned 22 years old. And we lock his deal up. And the timing of this is important to me because the fact that we got Patrick Williams' deal announced before DeMar DeRozan deal, that to me is a big-time signal that DeMar DeRozan's time in Chicago is coming to an end. And I was just thinking last night, trying to put together a top 10 list of my favorite DeMar DeRozan moments in a Chicago Bulls uniform, because I feel like people are a little too hard on the last 3 years. You know, the last 3 years, yeah, the last two were really disappointing, but still, man, you compare the DeMar DeRozan era to the 5 years that came before it, it was way more fun than the 5 years that came before it, guys. You know, the 50-point game against the Clippers his first year here, the buzzer beater against Washington, the buzzer beater against Indiana, the buzzer beater again last year against Indiana. DeMar DeRozan has had a ton of great moments as a Chicago Bull. It's been a pleasure to watch him in a Chicago Bulls uniform. It's been a lot of fun, but this signing is a sign that times are changing around here. And now, man, there's no more excuses for Patrick Williams. Anybody who thinks this is an overpay doesn't really understand the economics of how basketball works these days. It's funny when Zach Lowe, before the season last year when they were negotiating an extension, he was talking something crazy like $200 million is something that Patrick Williams was looking for when he wasn't even eligible for that. So it's good to see that we signed a much more reasonable deal. It's $18 million a year. The mid-level exception for the Chicago Bulls, I believe, is like $16.2 million. So to get him locked down for a long-term deal, slightly above the mid-level exception, that's not half bad in my estimation. But now, man, now it's time for excuse time to stop. So my biggest problem with Patrick Williams supporters is they're always making excuses for the guy. They're always saying, well, he's got the ISO-heavy DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine taking touches away from him. DeAndre Hunter plays with Trae Young, who's the most ISO-heavy player in the NBA, and he still puts up way better numbers than Patrick Williams on similar shot attempts, similar minutes a game. So Patrick Williams, man, there's no more excuses for you. DeMar DeRozan's going to be out of here. Zach LaVine, maybe he's going to be out of here. I still think he's going to stick around next year. I just don't think there's a trade for him. The offense is going to probably run through Patrick Williams a little bit more. He's going to get a couple more opportunities. Now it's on you to produce, man. There's no more excuses for Patrick Williams. I don't care if he's playing at the 4 or playing at the 3. That's another excuse that Patrick Williams supporters love to throw out there, is he's not playing his quote-unquote natural position. This is the NBA. This is 2024. There's really no more power forwards left. There's like Giannis, Julius Randle, Evan Mobley. Like, those are the only real true power forwards left. I just watched a playoff run where 6'4" Josh Hart made a huge impact on the game playing the power forward position. So Patrick Williams, man, you got no excuses. I don't care if you're lined up at the 4. I don't care if you're lined up at the 3. Those are pretty much interchangeable these days anyway. You're a wing. So that's an excuse that needs to die out as well. Patrick Williams, it's on him to produce. One of the reasons towards the end of the year that I started being so hard on Patrick Williams and so down on re-signing him to a big-time extension this offseason is because I watched Javonte Green come in, play the same position Patrick Williams played, and play it much better than Patrick Williams played it. So Patrick Williams, man, it's on you. You got to be more aggressive now. You got to go out and get yours. You got to do the little things out there that it's going to take to not only take your game to the next level, but the Chicago Bulls to the next level. So next year, man, if we got a lineup that's like Josh Giddey at the point, Kobe White sliding over to the 2, Zach LaVine at the 3, Patrick Williams at the 4, and I don't know, I had that tweet where I threw out James Wiseman at the 5, but throw in any cheap athletic center. We get out and run more. We got a little more fast-paced team, a little more 3-ball heavy team. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. That's going to be a massive opportunity for Patrick Williams to make an impact. So we're going to see, man. I said all offseason I didn't want to sign him to a big money deal long-term. I don't really think this is that big of money. I'm cool with this deal. My biggest question, the biggest concern for me is how's that foot injury doing, man? Foot injuries, foot surgeries, they are never a small deal. They're never easy to come back from. AK had that press conference after the draft where he didn't sound too confident in Patrick Williams' ability to come back. And the fact that Patrick Williams didn't even go to the open market to test his value, he just accepted this deal. might be a sign that his foot isn't as healthy as he would hope. So we're going to find out, guys. That's my biggest concern, is how's that foot doing? What's the timetable? Is he going to be ready to go at the start of the year? So you guys let me know in the comments what you think about this new Patrick Williams deal. I'm happy to have him back. I hope he works out. We'll see.